is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. DJ again? You tired of me? I'm tired of me. It's all right. I'm tired. It's been a crazy week. This kind of week could wear you out. I get it. But good morning. We got Albert in the house. We got Brian. Brian Repples in the house. Good morning to Christopher, Eric, Franco, Gerline. We got Mark. Oh, Mark. That's how tired I am. Now Gerline just became two people. Good morning, Gerline. We got Jay, Lauren, Martina, Pete. We got Pete in the house. Good morning to Rock Round, Wally. Woo, dog. Squadron is here. Good morning to everybody out there in YouTube land. We got Jeff, all the lurkers hanging out in the back of YouTube. Gina's with us. Good morning, Gina. Oh, man, we got the squadron in. We got some employment numbers, unemployment numbers. Here's the thing. We got numbers, and the market went a little crazy in both directions off of it. Let's see where we kind of settled out. But, yeah, initial reaction was bearish, and we actually had a little bit of a pre-market type of dump as well. Like right before the earnings came out, algos started to get in there a little bit early. That got bought up. Though as soon as the unemployment numbers came out, that tanked and that got bought right back up. And buy the dip. I think that's all right. That's it. Have a good day, everybody. Just buy the dip. It's been fun. That's all we need. That's all we need. So we do have a little bit of a retest gap. I'm trying to look at where some of these potential levels could go. So to the downside, I'm looking at probably a full-on retest, maybe somewhere in the, I'd say 422.21 or 421.81 would probably be the low. So I'll go with that 421.81. That's where we could get down to potentially if this thing wants to roll down with us. Let me just move. I'll move this one over here for now. But yeah, to the higher side, we still have a lot of room to that higher side. So we still got, I would probably say, if we go bullish, we can see 426.29 today. I think that's very, very possible. But what I don't like is we're about a 50-50 split right in the middle of all that. So let me just go back into the pre-market real quick. I have that 421. Maybe that's already hit with those little bit of a pullback. We came down to 422, so almost tested into. We still missed it by a decent amount, but we did come in and we closed essentially the day range. Not quite we didn't close the gap per se. Not that it has to. It did get kind of close with that pullback. And again, we're above the at least pre-market VPOC. I got to go bullish right now. I mean, I'd be foolish not to. So if we do take anything bearish, it's going to be a little to the cautious side. Anything bullish, let's just let it rip. Let's let it rip skis. For the Qs, I did notice something like the Nvidias, things like that. They were a little bit selling off. Do have a decent volume of area, decent area of volume that should kind of hold us up. I think if we could get above 354.04 on the Qs, that would give us another little level up to 356. And then if we have a crazy close of the week, we could see 359.27. So that would be a more to the massive side move. We'll see where we are in wave counts on this thing. I think wave 3 probably. Let me just move this thing over. I got all the Zoom features are like on different screens. I hate when I do that. Oh, they're not even going to let me move it today, are they? Nope. Okay, that's where it's going to be stuck. Interesting. Usually I can move it screen to screen. Not today. All right, but we have, I would say there's a 1, 2. This is a 3. If we do get a bigger pullback, I don't know if that comes today or not. Wave 4, 5. So that would be the bigger picture of things. Inside this move specifically, this is probably our 1, our 2. I guess that's our 3, 4 or 5. Maybe we're in that ABC and we could get that roll. I don't know. This is all kind of a little bit shaky. So we could still be yeah, I mean, maybe next week we get a little pullback. I really want to fix this pen thing on my Zoom because that's going to drive me crazy today. Oh well. T and VZ have some nice gaps down. Lauren saying Nike and Wells Fargo. We got another VZ from Honey Roy. Honey Roy in YouTube land, VZ as well. So we'll take a look at that. We got X. We got Baba por favor from Jeff. Jay says, wow. So we got a lot of the communications today. All right, let's start with Lauren since he was the first one to throw it out there. We got Nike. Nice little gap up. I do like specifically where we're at. Lulu also reported earnings today. I don't know what this gap for Nike is specifically. This is Friday, June 2nd. So this is today's the ex-dividend date. Yeah, so we might get a little extra people trying to get in there for the dividend. I think we got to get in there the day before ex-dividend, to be honest. But I don't know. But yeah, nice little gap up for sure. We're going to have those moving averages coming in. Lululemon reported today. They beat earnings. We pretty much essentially closed the entire Lululemon. So that could give some retail some additional boost as well today. And Nike does look decent. So we'll throw Nike up on the list. What I would be concerned with on Nike is, again, just the range of it. It's definitely, been absolutely taken out to the woodshed in the back and just beaten with a sack of nickels, but decent support as well. So kind of a little double bottom location. And this could be the start to maybe, I don't know if we see all-time highs on this thing, or we just kind of come into the 50% retracement of that down move. Looks like to me we need one more wave. So I think today, the pen is going to drive me nuts. I'm going to start pulling my hair out. Multiple screens on the Zoom. All right, so I think something like that, and then double bottom out of here. So if we are going to go bullish, I can see something like that. Pretty clear double top, lower highs. That would make this area right here your resistance. So I don't know how it's going to play out in the longer term of things, but that's a decent gap. I don't believe Nike has that big of a short float, so we're not going to get that extra push we were looking for on Carvana the other day. All right, let's take a look at TZ. And I'm going to try to move that thing again. It's going to drive me up a wall. All right, we got VZ. And then I missed one from, WFC we got to cover too. VZ, yeah, so that one, pretty decent gap down. So why is all telecommunications moving? Amazon is in talks with telecom companies for new low-cost services. And so Amazon dropping the big Amazon foot, saying we need some lower pricing. That looks like a pretty disastrous gap for sure. I don't see anything. Is this, do we have anything? Was this ever at this? Is this pre-IPO price? I don't know what happened. Usually, so all of the ones, the T-Mobile, VZ, all of those guys, they typically move a little bit slower. Obviously, we're going to get some catalysts across the industry today. So maybe we do get a little bit more volume. Typically, they're a little bit tougher to trade in general. Not really at any type of support. Maybe a tad. Yeah, we're at a tad, little bit of support. Let's see if we can get bought up first on this one. Get some green candles, and then I could definitely see some lower levels. I could see this thing coming down probably to about $30.24, somewhere in that range. But looks like the chart on the daily is definitely broken. We did see a lot of things that dip, CRM specifically. I don't think Verizon is anything like CRM, but CRM massive gap down yesterday, rallied all the way back, and it's like it never even happened. Another gap down on AT&T. So far I like Verizon's gap a little bit better. This one looks pretty horrible too. Yeah, okay. I like Verizon's better because we're clearing a lot of the gaps. This one a lot of the support. This one we still could come down maybe to about $14.79. The one thing that AT&T has that Verizon doesn't is we actually have 3 pretty decent bullish buying days. We have a lot of bear volume here. So that would probably be trapping some people. So I think there's a little bit more people actually trapped on AT&T than Verizon. Verizon's the only thing again with AT&T is we just have one little bit of support. So if that breaks, that could be a good trade. And if we're trapping enough people, that might help as well. But I mean, there's a lot of people have been shorting this thing all the way down. I think a lot of these things will get bought up today. I don't think they're going to be the easiest trades. TMUS. Yep. So there's a much bigger gap down. Again, a little bit of support. I can see this one coming down a little bit further too. So if target on this one will probably give us about $1.30, $1.40 if it hasn't gotten there already in pre-market, but 128.24. That's where I would look for some type of support. Otherwise, you are in this gap where, I mean, we could definitely fade a little bit further. I think the best play on at least this one would be probably do nothing at open, just see what happens. And then hopefully this thing could come down a little bit further. We could look for some kind of candles to buy it up later in the day. So, especially if this thing wants to just hang around here, but it's going to be tough to short coming into some type of support after that pretty massive gap down. So any of the telecom, they'll definitely be in play today. I think they might be a little bit more challenging. WFC. Decent gap up for WFC. They're pretty much the KFC of banking. 1 letter difference. It's a decent gap. You did get some volume, so I wouldn't really be too concerned about this candle yesterday, although it was an inside resting candle, which is decent. A longer term picture, we do have a nice little double bottom. So I'll give credit where credit's due on that one. Trying to think if we could break those targets. So here's a double bottom. That's pretty clear. I would say this is some type of capitulation. Massive volume, massive gap down. Everyone's freaking out, and now all of a sudden we're higher. From this point, we probably have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're probably on wave 5 of this one. Would make sense to me. I gotta get this thing over. I'm gonna go crazy. For day trade, we have resistance from that day right here in front of our face, and then right above it, we're gonna have some more resistance coming in here. I think we're probably looking for maybe I think we might maybe break this one. We're probably going to hit good resistance somewhere right around $41. So that's going to give us about just under 50 cents. So setup on Wells Fargo would have to be small. Let me see what's some of the other banks. Are they moving to? We do have a little gap up on Wall. So a lot of the banks are moving. Wall might be a better opportunity than Wells Fargo. We actually had the VPOC, even though it's inside day, we did have VPOCs move a little bit higher. We're right into resistance, but you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days in a row, kind of looking like some kind of a flag pennant pattern. I'm going to put Wall a little bit higher on the list. So far, probably Nike at like the best for opportunity, but we could watch some of the banks today, especially Wall looks decent. So again, I still would be concerned about some of the possible targets on these things. And then Wells Fargo would probably move in unison with some of these other names too. So I'll have it on the list. We could take a look. Again, this is more about targets for me than anything else. All right. Amazon. Oh, on the Amazon news. Yep. Okay, we'll take a look real quick at Amazon, how Amazon is moving. Yep, people just like, good way to get a good deal. But when I tweet, hey, I want a new, cheaper cell phone service, nobody responds to me. Not one stock has moved because I tweet. 124.92. You're really I'm gonna actually watch Amazon decently. I almost don't know what I want to see. I know what I would like to see. Probably this is a retest gap. I would like to see a little bit of a pullback at open, but even though we have a little bit, and that could happen, we have a little bit of possible resistance here. Other than that, I mean, if I'm looking at just pockets of liquidity, there's really nothing on Amazon till about 139. So this thing's got a ton of room to move now that we have all that volume on our tail end. So I'm going to put Amazon a little bit higher on the list. We'll see if we get I would love some kind of a pullback just really to set my entries on. And then maybe we could close some of that gap and then we move. But yeah, Amazon looks pretty decent. Not too shabby for another essentially $14 move. I'll take that. JWN. It's off a decent support, gapping up about 32 cents. This might be one to watch for a swing, Ron. We're still inside. Let's see, short float on this one. JWN. Man, they got a 22% short float. Nobody liking Nordstrom's, huh? This is the hammer to watch. I mean, the high wave. So we're not really gapping on this one. We're gapping, just not outside of yesterday's candle. That short float is pretty decent. One more thing. Does Nordstrom's have JWN dividends? Not that I'd be in there that long, but 4.75%. That's a great location in terms of finding some kind of support. This big candle out of here could be future looking, some kind of double bottom on this thing. Immediate target would take us to about 1967, so we have a lot of room to the higher side. Again, I don't know if it's going to move there today. All right, let's put some JWN on the list. Let's see if we could have fun with this one. This is on the monthly chart though. So hold on, let me see the daily. Yeah, still inside of yesterday's candle. Huge volume came in. Did they beat? They actually beat on all the earnings per share. And it's not looking horrible. All right, we're gonna add this one to the list. We'll see what we could do. The other one I like is GPS, the gap, but Nordstrom's have a higher short float too. Amazon's probably my favorite. I think Nike is second. I'm gonna go with Wall is third. JWN would be fourth. Surprise, high short float. Yeah, it's got a huge short float. That's probably one of the reasons I'm keeping it on the list. We target wise on this thing, I think $17 today. But again, with a short float like that could go wild. T, any action? Yeah, I don't know on T. I like it to the short side. I'm just very concerned that there's a little bit of short's going to be the direction for me, but we also have a decent support. So I just don't know how much I'm going to get out of this thing. 1483. If I have some assumption that could break, that'd be a very good short. Yeah. If I can short as high as possible, the happier I'll be. All right. I believe Jeff wanted to check out Baba. The Baba. Nice little gap up. Again, it is a retest gap, so I like it in the long direction. I think I might be buying a couple more shares today. We'll see what happens. But I want to see if we could get a little bit of selling first. I'm kind of torn because I kind of want to add more Baba to the, but it's right around the pricing that I already got it at for the long term. But I probably will be adding some more Baba. And then I also want some kind of like divvy stock in there too this month. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is a decent, nice little gap up. It does have room, probably up to about 86.36. So we'll see. But this is I want to wait for some kind of maybe red candle, something to hopefully close the gap. It's a good location. Yep. So if it gives me some kind of red candle as a day trade, I'll look to play it. Maybe I'll try to day trade it today, and any profits I'll just throw into the long term. We'll see. All right, let me see what else is out there. We got X. United Steel. Not terribly huge ranges for day trades. Nice little gap up. We are in TTM squeeze, at least according to, which sometimes is different than Thinkorswim, but according to TradingView. X short float 9%. That's not a bad one either. We're gonna have this moving average right here, so see if we get some kind of selling. But yeah, X is gonna go on my list too. I'm gonna look to play this one as well. X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. So throw this one up pretty high on the list. Again, I would love, and I think we could get a little selling at open. We have a moving average right in front of our face. We are at some type of resistance. So I would say this is a buy the dip if we could get it. Look for an opportunity to go long. We are trapping some people, but not a lot, right? So we do have a 10% short float. Obviously, momentum on this TTM is actually a little bit more to the bullish side. This could be a little bit looking like a trap to the bearish side. So any bears that did get in, which was some decent volume, although we kind of matched the volume yesterday with that buy a little bit higher. But that's a decent location. So even though that is a retest gap, I don't know how much that will retest. And if we get a little bit higher, next target on this thing, first target would be 22.30, and then one after that we could hit 22.92. So that's the one I'd have to be shooting for this thing to work. For 2 hours, I need about a 50-cent spread on this thing. So we'll see a Mongo database, MDB. Fade on the gap. I almost hate to fade anything to the short side. I almost hate to fade anything to the short side. I would actually be looking. I don't know if I'd set a blind order, but see what happens if we get, man, 371. Even down to that next pivot, that's still a $20, not $20, a little less, $14 move. There's definitely some money in this thing to short it. Oh, this is a tough one. That is quite the gap. If we start breaking 357.68, that's your short. Otherwise, that could be a bounce spot if we do get any selling. Man, I'm gonna have to throw this one on the list too. Mongo database. That's a strong gap. It's gonna be a nightmare to short. You're clearing everything. There's got to be some bag holders. Yeah, you even look like you have. This looks. There's going to be some type of resistance up here. This, to me, wow, Zoom just changed by itself. I'm impressed. No, it didn't actually. No, it didn't. Got me all. Oh, there we go. Now it's moving for me. That makes me happy. But you almost have this Head and Shoulders up here, long term picture. I would go with probably somewhere like this is your neckline. That was the retest into it. So somewhere in this zone, which is still a little bit higher, probably somewhere to about 440. That would be your next real resistance on this thing. But this is an absolute monster of a gap. You have a lot of short. I mean, all that volume that came in here, short, short, short. They're all actually getting clobbered. That would have been an absolute monster of a buy if we got in there somewhere around that 150 mark. I know I didn't do it. I'm that guy. But yeah, this is a wait and see. But I wouldn't be upset if I go greedy long on this thing. It still has a lot of room to the high side. We'd have to see if some kind of pullback comes in or something like that. But I'd probably go greedy long, to be honest. in a weird way, there should be some type of resistance getting close. But man, oh man, that's a wild gap. That's going to be definitely on the list. All right, we got ASAN. Oh yeah, and then we should look for some Lulu. And we got Snow as well. All right, we'll look at those. ASAN, Asana. This is my new favorite gap of the day. In a weird way. ASAN. 14% short float. That's pretty decent. Yeah. Add to list. I know what Asana is. I don't know how to trade it, or at least I've never traded it. I would only be looking to go bullish on it right now. We're going to have one big resistance somewhere around 24.78. If that clears, we're off to the races. All right. I'll take it. Probably favorite gap of the day right there. All right. Baba bouncing off the weekly support. Yeah, I do like Baba. I want that to come down a little bit or potentially go long. Asana so far, absolute favorite. All right. What do we got? 59 seconds. Oh, don't do that to me. This one, Snow, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 days of buying in a row. You are gapping up. I think this one could make some decent moves, but we're also kind of closing this gap a little bit too. This one I think has to fade first. So this would be, I would not touch this thing long, and it could definitely go wild and do crazy things. Instead of Snow, check out Unity Software. That might be a better option for more of a sympathy if they kind of move very similar. But yeah, that's unfortunately, I think, my end of my YouTube stint. But you guys are absolutely incredible. I do appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. Man, it's already the weekend. It's already, we're starting June. We got a full week, but we got the rest of the month ahead of us. Be safe out there. Stack some wood, stack some gains where you